In 1945, a mobster with a vision walked into a desert a few miles outside Las Vegas and saw something nobody else could see. A 105-room hotel and casino rising from the sand. He had no blueprint, no contractor who had ever built a casino before, no model anywhere in the world to copy. What he had was $6 million, an astronomical sum at the time, and a deadline of 15 months. The man's name was Bugsy Siegel, and in the time it took to build that hotel, he didn't just create a casino. He invented the infrastructure that would transform a railroad town into the most visited destination in America. I went through construction records, periods, engineering reports, interviews, and archival photographs, and used AI to reconstruct what the work actually looked like on the ground, filling gaps where historical documentation was incomplete. This is how the Las Vegas Strip was actually built, from the first shovel to the mega resorts that changed hospitality forever. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like and also hit subscribe. Imagine standing in raw Mojave Desert in November 1945 with $6 million in cash, no utilities for 20 miles in any direction, and a Nevada contractor you've never met before. You have 15 months to build something the world has never seen. Every worker is imported. Every material must be trucked in across empty land. The summer temperature will hit 120 degrees. And if you miss the deadline, everything you built means nothing. This was Bugsy Siegel's reality. And somehow, impossibly, it worked. When Bugsy Siegel stood on that desert property, he was thinking like a filmmaker. The hotel would have a lobby with a pink and turquoise flamingo motif that had never been done before in hospitality design. The rooms would have individual air conditioning, unheard of outside the wealthiest estates. The casino would have floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking manicured gardens, not the fortress layout every other gambling operation used. And it would all be completed in 15 months. The contractor Siegel hired was Del E. Webb, who would eventually become one of the largest construction companies in America. But in 1945, Webb had never built a casino. He'd built tract homes, military installations, and shopping centers. What Webb understood was scheduling and logistics. The site was nothing but raw Mojave Desert with no utilities, no water mains, and no infrastructure of any kind. The first crews that arrived were not pouring foundations. They were bringing the site into existence. Wells had to be drilled, power lines strung across empty land, a complete water system installed from scratch. Webb made the critical decision that would define the entire strip: run multiple construction phases simultaneously. The well drilling crews worked while the foundation crews staked out the building footprint. The electrical crews ran lines while the concrete pour began. It was controlled chaos coordinated through foremen with radio communications, a technique borrowed from military construction operations Webb had overseen during the war. The Flamingo was not large by today's standards: 105 rooms, 3,000 square foot casino floor, 260-seat showroom. What made it unprecedented was the integration. This was not a hotel with a gambling room attached. The casino floor opened directly into the lobby. The showroom stage could be seen from the casino. Every sightline was calculated to create an illusion of luxury that had not existed anywhere in American hospitality. The construction records show constant negotiation between the design team in Los Angeles and the building crews in the desert. Subtropical plants had to be shipped in from California nurseries and planted in a way that would survive the 120-degree summer heat. Ruth Haag, one of the few trained landscape architects on the project, kept detailed notes. Water consumption alone was a technical problem nobody had solved before. On December 26, 1946, almost exactly 15 months after the first shovel hit the ground, the Flamingo opened. The first night was chaos involving plumbing backups and flooding, but the building stood, functional and revolutionary. The Strip had its prototype. Everyone in the construction industry understood that something fundamental had shifted. The Flamingo proved it could be done. This is where I think construction becomes truly fascinating in ways nobody talks about today. The Flamingo worked spectacularly Within 2 years, it was the most profitable gaming operation in Nevada, earning staggering amounts of money. That success triggered a construction boom that nobody was prepared for. The second casino to open was the Sahara in 1952, then the Sands in 1953, then the Tropicana, the Riviera, the Stardust. Every single one was built by Del E. Webb and his competitors, racing against each other, racing against the seasonal desert, racing against investor deadlines. By 1960, there were 18 major casino resorts on the Strip, all built in less than a decade. No American construction sector had ever experienced this kind of acceleration. The audacity was breathtaking. This is where construction becomes fascinating. The mob-era casinos were engineered as fortress-like gambling machines. The design philosophy was entirely different from the Flamingo. Low ceilings in the casino floors, so players would lose track of time. No clocks, no windows, mazes of slot machines designed so guests could not navigate back without passing shops and restaurants. Gaming consultant John Scarn literally worked with construction teams to optimize floor layouts for maximum gambling revenue. These were not accidental designs. They were calculated strategies built into the concrete and steel. The construction challenges were severe. In the 1950s, there was no skilled labor pool in Las Vegas. Every carpenter, electrician, and ironworker had to be imported from California. Housing became a crisis. You could not build a 500-room casino if you did not have anywhere to house the workers building it. Labor camps were constructed parallel to the hotels themselves. Men lived in temporary housing while building permanent ones. The logistics of feeding, housing, and coordinating thousands of imported workers became a construction problem as significant as the building itself. The Tropicana, completed in 1957 at 300 rooms and a 30,000-square-foot casino floor, was roughly 3 times larger than the Flamingo, yet still built in under 18 months. The engineering required to coordinate that scale with 1950s technology was staggering. Concrete was poured 24 hours a day. Crews worked in rotating shifts. Supply chains had to be mathematized. Every steel beam, every pallet of bricks, every coil of electrical wire was scheduled weeks in advance so nothing would sit idle. The Nevada Gaming Control Board had no idea how to regulate construction at this speed and scale. There were essentially no safety regulations. Workers regularly worked 10-hour shifts in 110-degree heat without shade. Accidents were common and largely undocumented. The OSHA Act would not exist until 1971. But the buildings got built. By 1965, the Strip was generating more revenue than every other gambling jurisdiction in America combined. The construction had succeeded brilliantly, though the human cost remained largely unrecorded. By 1966, the Strip worked through mob connections and cut corners. Then one man changed everything. He arrived with a billion-dollar fortune and an obsession with control. He had no gaming experience, yet his arrival marked when American construction standards transformed forever. Everything changed when Howard Hughes flew into Las Vegas on November 23, 1966, and decided to own casinos. Within months, he had acquired the Desert Inn, the Sands, and the Frontier. And more importantly, he decided to build with precision and control that had never been applied to casino construction before. Hughes was not a builder, but a perfectionist who believed construction should be controlled by engineering logic. He hired contractors who reported directly to him, not to local mob-connected fixers. The Landmark Hotel, completed in 1969, was Hughes's first major project. At 31 stories and 250,000 square feet, it was larger than anything previously built in Las Vegas. The construction method was entirely different from mob-era casinos. Hughes invested in equipment and site organization that allowed vertical construction to proceed twice as fast. Prefabrication became standard. Entire wall sections were built off-site and assembled like component pieces. The concrete was poured with engineered precision, not the approximations that had dominated earlier builds. More importantly, Hughes documented everything. Construction photographs, blueprints, and engineering reports survive in the Hughes aircraft archives. We can see exactly how the shift from mob-style to corporate-style construction happened. Every change order, every delay, and every problem was recorded. This documentation became the blueprint for how major construction would be managed for decades to come. By 1969, corporate ownership was replacing individual mob figures. The regulatory environment became more professional. Insurance companies started requiring that casinos meet specific construction and fire safety standards. The old contractors had to retrain. The union construction labor force became more professionalized. Ironworkers and electricians had to get certifications and follow actual specifications rather than adapting on the fly. Some workers adapted, others moved to other projects. By 1975, the landmark era was ending, and corporate construction methods were the new standard. By 1988, the Strip was comfortable. The Mirage changed that forever. A construction project so advanced, it made everything built before look quaint. It cost more than any casino ever built. It was completed faster than anyone thought possible. The Mirage cost $630 million and took 18 months to build. On opening day, November 22, 1989, it was the most advanced entertainment venue ever constructed. The volcano outside the casino required a complete hydraulic and flame system that had never been attempted before. The aquarium lobby required water management systems pulled from marine science facilities. Nothing about this building was routine. And here's what strikes me going through the construction documents. The Mirage proved that impossible timelines could actually be met with modern methods. The original timeline was 24 months. Wynn crashed it to 18 months by paying premium labor rates, running shifts around the clock, and prefabricating components in factories. This approach had never been attempted at this scale in Nevada, and it worked brilliantly. Following the Mirage's success, 3 mega resorts went up simultaneously in the mid-1990s. The MGM Grand, completed in 1993, was the largest hotel in the world, with 5,044 rooms spread across a 171,500 square foot complex. The construction required over 7,000 workers at peak periods. The concrete pour alone took 66 days of continuous pouring, 24 hours every day without stopping. No single contractor could manage that scale, so multiple firms coordinated through a construction management company. This was cutting-edge logistics. Every delivery, every worker, and every material was timed to the minute. The Bellagio, which opened in 1998, pushed engineering further. The famous fountain system with 1,200 fountains, synchronized to music, required custom-built control systems that did not exist before construction began. Engineers had to invent the technology while the building was being constructed. Interior finishes with imported Italian marble and French chandeliers had to be coordinated so materials arrived exactly when needed. The Venetian, opening in 1999, introduced completely new construction methods. The Grand Canal Shops, an indoor replica of Venice complete with gondolas, required artificial waterway techniques pulled from theme park engineering. Walt Disney Imagineering actually consulted on it, bringing decades of experience from Disneyland. This era saw modular construction at scale. Entire bathroom pods were built in factories with all plumbing and fixtures pre-installed, then craned into the structure. A single hotel room that would take a traditional crew 3 weeks was completed in a factory in 3 days. This cut overall construction schedules dramatically and revolutionized the industry. The labor force transformed. Instead of unskilled workers trained on site, the mega resort era demanded a sophisticated, certified workforce. The average skilled trade worker on a mega resort made 2 to 3 times what a construction worker made in other American cities. By 2000, the Strip had been completely rebuilt. The Sands implosion in 1996 became an event watched by 300,000 people on the Strip itself and millions on television. The 2000s brought a question nobody had really faced before. What do you build after perfection? The Wynn and Encore, completed in 2005 and 2008, represented construction budgets of $2.7 billion and $2.3 billion, respectively. These were different in fundamental ways. Custom art collections, high-end restaurants designed by Michelin-starred chefs, technology systems that would have been science fiction a decade earlier. The Wynn alone required over 200,000 tons of structural steel and took years of planning. Environmental regulations became serious and uncompromising. A mega resort in the desert required an environmental impact report that ran to thousands of pages. Water recycling systems, electrical efficiency standards, and waste management facilities had to be designed and engineered from the ground up, not added later as an afterthought. The Las Vegas Valley had serious water problems now. What was once unlimited had strict limits. The Cosmopolitan, completed in 2010 at $3.9 billion, introduced residential components mixed into the casino hotel at significant scale. This required completely different construction protocols and planning. Residential portions were physically separate from gaming areas. HVAC systems, electrical supplies, and elevator banks were duplicated to separate public casino space from private residential space. A single building was now essentially two buildings occupying the same footprint. The complexity increased exponentially. The Cosmopolitan's construction was dramatically delayed and over budget. The original cost was $3.3 billion, ballooned to $3.9 billion. This was notable because by 2009, casinos were supposed to be built on schedule and on budget. The 2008 financial crisis had made every project more complicated. Financing dried up mid-construction. Labor and material costs fluctuated wildly. What had been a stable construction environment became volatile and unpredictable. Recent projects use refined versions of 2005 methods and techniques. Modular construction is nearly universal now. 3D laser scanning verifies that every component fits before installation. Software coordinates logistics so completely that a single missing bolt cascades through the entire schedule. The pandemic froze major construction from 2020 through 2022, but the underlying techniques remained standard everywhere in American hospitality construction. What started as innovation on the Las Vegas Strip became routine worldwide. What the Strip accomplished in 75 years of continuous construction was something no construction historian expected. Not a building, not even a skyline, a proving ground. The casinos that opened in the 1950s were demolished in the 1990s. The mega resorts of the 1990s are being reimagined today. Every generation tears it down and builds something bigger, which means every generation had to solve problems nobody had solved before, under deadlines nobody else would have accepted. Webb's phase simultaneous method became the backbone of American scheduling. The mob era's fortress design informed every gaming floor built for decades afterward. Hughes's documented corporate approach replaced improvisation with accountability. The modular bathroom pod, invented on a 1990s Strip site, is now standard in hospitality construction on 6 continents. The coordination software that timed steel deliveries to the minute at the Bellagio is the ancestor of the systems that built the tallest towers in Dubai and Singapore. None of those projects were built in Nevada. All of them were built with methods that were. The Strip itself is unrecognizable from what opened in 1950, yet the bones are still there. The hub and spoke layout along Las Vegas Boulevard that Bugsy Siegel established in 1945 is still the organizing principle today. The idea that a casino should be a complete world unto itself came from the first casinos and has only been refined and perfected. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe so that you don't miss any new videos. And let me know in the comments what construction project you want me to cover next. See you in the next video.